What is going on, guys? I hope you guys can hear me. I'm setting up, so hopefully I got the whole setup right. You see Baby Yoda or Grogu in the back. All right. I can't even really hear myself with this headphone, so I'm just gonna take these off. So, welcome, guys. We are going to talk the Mandalorian season 2, just an overall whole review of the whole season. I know a lot of people are talking about the finale. We'll get there. We will get there because this is the reason why I'm making this video, because I was so excited after the finale. I'm just like, I gotta put this video out. I gotta get my thoughts out there. And just to let you guys know, I want to give a shout out to Taylor, the Okias Taylor. We were supposed to do a collab video together, but certain, life in general, time. But look forward to us collabing in future Star Wars, especially with all the shows being announced and dropped from Disney Plus for Disney Plus, and what Disney's going on. I'll say though, that I think it's way too many Star Wars shows that are coming up the pipeline. I think you take away like the do we need a droid show really? The Endor show I'm really looking forward to because of Rogue One. I think that could definitely be fleshed out. Let me just move this real quick. I feel like my computer's being overheated. So welcome to anybody who's actually watching right now. I know it's been a while since I did this. Since Before we get into anything, I just want to say thank you guys for sticking with me, for watching my videos. Just 2020 is almost done, guys. So we're going to 21. I don't think it's going to be. There'll be hope, just like this Mandalorian has been giving us. Hopefully in 2021. So before we start the whole review, before we get into discussion, I want to say go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There'll be more content on the way, especially with a lot of things going on, a lot of big things happening towards the tail end of this year. I'm going to go straight. I'm doing a giveaway. It's been a while since I did a giveaway, but I'm doing a giveaway. So all you have to do is comment down below and put hashtag Mandalorian. Just that's all you have to do. Subscribe, like the video, and just put hashtag Mandalorian, and you have a chance to win this Luke and Yoda Funko Pop. And then once I will announce the winner probably at the end of January, so give people time to enter, and then I will randomly select somebody, and then whoever's the winner, I will send this Funko Pop to you. But let's get into it. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let me take a little swig. Mouth's going. Okay, we're ready. Oh yeah, we're ready. Mandalorian season 2, like Mandalorian season 1, I really enjoyed. There was a lot of great things. I think after watching the Disney sequel and their trilogy, it just left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Everybody could sense that Star Wars was kind of dead. Like they're really trying to get your money. There was really nothing to really be hopeful for because of how a butchered job they did in those movies. But Mandalorian comes along. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, making it. Filoni, you know him as doing the Clone Wars, Rebels. Rebels is one of my. I love that show. It's not the greatest show in the world, but it just got stronger and stronger as seasons went by. Everybody knows the Clone Wars. Everybody loves the Clone Wars. They really flesh out the prequel characters. They flesh out Anakin. They flesh out Obi-Wan and their relationship, which much appreciated. I know. Say what we say with the prequels, it wasn't needed much. You needed that. The reason why it was so just devastating when Anakin turns into the dark side, and I think Clone Wars did a great job. But it also introduces Ahsoka. It introduces Captain Rex. It introduces so many players in the game that come from Clone Wars all the way to Rebels and then to Mandalorian. And we're going to get into spoilers of Mandalorian season 2, so you've been warned. If you haven't seen the finale, if you haven't seen any of the episodes of season 2, get on that. It's definitely worth a subscription for Disney Plus, and you can cancel it later, but it's definitely worth a subscription to watch that season 1 and season 2. But where I'm getting at, Filoni knows his Star Wars. Filoni Ahsoka, that's his baby. Ahsoka, everybody was super hyped seeing Ahsoka in season 2. That is his baby. And the character development, and you want to talk about a strong female character, there you go. I always believed that. I think they should have brought Mara Jade. I think she's one of the strongest Star Wars characters that's in, I believe, Legends now it's called. But Ahsoka, man, has impressed the hell out of me. You want to root for her. You understand the ups, the downs, her relationship with Anakin. And so hearing that Rosario Dawson was going to play her in season 2, I was like, that's a great casting choice. Like that's perfect. That's who, I mean, I wouldn't have thought would be casted, but when I heard the name, I was like, she's such a great actress, and she does a lot of great little things and shows and movies. I think it's her time to shine. In season 2, I will get to that episode for sure. But like I'm saying, Dave Filoni you got to learn that Dave Filoni has pretty much put the groundwork and pretty much putting the hope that Star Wars might be back. And Jon Favreau, Iron Man fame, director, actor, Happy from Spider-Man, chef, he knows how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Amazing, right? Great director. He has hit and misses in movies and stuff, but he was the first to get that MCU going. And I think him and Filoni are really saving Star Wars. I think everybody can agree Star Wars was in a bad place until Mandalorian came, because Mandalorian is a show where it's not all about big budget. They got the money. It looks beautiful. I think season 2 actually looks better. More money was put into it, of course. But it has that feeling. You want that nostalgia feeling, but you want it in a good way. You don't want a cash grab way. You want it where it's natural. This is something, you have you invested in the original trilogy, and then you got the prequels, but this was more a feel of the original trilogy. So season 1 came along. It didn't blow my mind. I really, really enjoyed it. I think everybody can agree after that season 1, they said, I really enjoyed it. Let's see what the movies did. I think that was before Rise of Skywalker was coming in, and then Rise of Skywalker came, and everybody's just like, I'm kind of done. I'm fatigued. But Mandalorian season 1 really kind of gave you that little hope. And then a lot of people were looking forward to season 2. It was something definitely to look forward to. So season 2 rolls around, right? Overall thoughts on the whole season. Before the last, I'll say the last 2 episodes, maybe 3. Before the last last 2 episodes, I thought I had the same feeling for it as I did in season 1, where I really liked it. I didn't absolutely love it, but I really, really liked it. And I really loved the direction that these guys were kind of going with it. It didn't feel like an overall big storyline. It felt like little individual chapters, little individual episodes, like the first season, but you saw that something was coming. You saw that something was going to connect towards the end. So season 2, they opened up with the crate dragon. They opened up with Timothy Olyphant, I believe his name is. You've seen him around. He was the hitman. He was in the one show on FX. And then we heard that Boba Fett was going to be in here, and there was possibly maybe Captain Rex. So that first episode really kind of was really fun. When you had Mando, and it was kind of like, hey, you got to take out the beast sort of thing. You got to save the village, and of course, Baby Yoda. Later on, we learn his real name, but Baby Yoda still is cute and adorable as usual. So that first episode really kind of just brought they wanted to bring that fun aspect to it. And it was really, really fun. Visually, it was great. The creature design on that first episode was phenomenal. That dragon, that was a beast, man. It kind of reminded me of a Godzilla, the newer Godzilla movie, the first one though with Bryan Cranston, and you really felt the scale of Godzilla, and that's what I felt like on that creature. And then Timothy Olyphant, known as the sheriff in that episode, and I was like, for a minute there, I was like, is it really Boba Fett? I'm like, this is really, I don't think so, but it'd be kind of crazy if he was actually the Boba Fett that we know, who got handed by Han, pretty much. But it wasn't, of course. He was just using Boba Fett's armor, which I figured, it was just a little slight, because I always wanted Boba Fett to be just the guy who killed another dude and stole the body armor, or Jango Fett and that whole maybe killed one of the actual like the clone and just took it. Like the Boba Fett name was gonna be just whoever had the armor. It's kind of like Bond, James Bond. It's just an alias. That's what I thought. That's what I was hoping for. But they kept the original storyline where like Jango Fett, his little boy clone takes over. Technically, his son sort of. He took over the Boba Fett mantle and stuff. So and then at the end of that episode, you do see the real Boba Fett, and you see the climax of that. They kill the dragon. He sees that Mando took the armor and stuff. But going back to that Timothy Olyphant, I know a lot of people were like, spin-off show for that guy. That guy was great in that episode. I mean, he was charming. I thought the suit looked a little weird on him though, because it looked a little bit more, I don't know, it just looked funny. And sometimes throughout the series, the armor, some of maybe a little bit of the wig kind of thing, it kind of looks a little weird, but it all comes together. It's kind of back your head, and because you're enjoying where the series is going, what given situations happening. So that first episode really kind of brought the fun first, and then at the climax of that episode, then you figure, okay, they're setting up for something big, and they do. It all pays off. What I love is a lot of this pays off throughout the season. And my God, this season, the first thing I noticed was the visuals. It looked like an actual movie. It looked like this should be in theaters. Some things you could like going to the finale. You saw a little bit of, the budget was running out right there, but some shots, especially with Mandalorians, the Mando ship going from place to place, and his ship is getting torched throughout this whole season. The ship, some of the creature designs, especially going to the next episode where he has to escort a frog lady, and then the controversial episode of Baby Yoda eating her egg, which I found it humorous in the beginning, but for a little bit I was like, damn, stop, stop it, stop. I have a kid of my own, so I'm like, stop. It was a little weird. It was like because he kind of gives her like this eyeball at the end of that episode where he's eating all her eggs, or where like they leave this planet where they has this big old spider, and he's just like, when they're saved by the rebels or the New Republic, he just kind of gives her that look and just swipes an egg and just eats it, and just like saying, like talking shit to her, like eye level. But then the next episode kind of heartfelt. Baby Yoda is like very adorable this season, which I really appreciate that in this whole season, Baby Yoda is starting to talk a little bit more. Not necessarily like say words, but he's starting to like he's going to. And I thought actually at the end of the season, maybe he would say maybe a couple words to Mando, but they kind of kept it like that, and I'm fine with that. So yeah, going on to the just briefly to the next episode where he has to escort this frog lady. His ship gets damaged. We see the New Republic. The thing about this series is we know where it's gonna go. We know. I'm pretty sure Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, she's still there. All right, guys, she's still there. She's still the head of the whole shebang until they fire her or she resigns or whatever. I honestly, at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. We all know it leads up to the new trilogy. It leads up to Rey. It leads up to Finn. It leads up to Poe. It leads up to Palpatine coming back. Such a bummer. Like that whole Palpatine coming, just terrible. So seeing like what I love is seeing how everybody's picking up the pieces. It's still shattered. Like the whole galaxy is still reeling from the Empire's defeat, because they kind of had a little bit of order going on. And you see that wherever Mando goes, you see a lot of, kind of like the ghetto area, you see how civilians are living. I mean, there's not, some places not too much order going on. It's just the Rebel Alliance the New Republic trying to make something their winnings, basically. So, seeing in that particular episode with the escort of the Frog Lady, and seeing where the scouters and going around like just making sure, trying to bring order, it was kind of cool to see. It was definitely cool to see the rebels not being rebels no more. I mean, you got to take a step forward, right? If you had never read the Legends books, I've read maybe a couple of them, but I know a lot of the lore. It's really cool. I kind of wanted to see that. I kind of want to see how they build this new they say republic, but new empire basically. And then this is all leading up to also the resurgence of the First Order. It's all leading. I mean, you still have the empire, you still have people scrambling and try to maintain power even though Palpatine's gone. The empire is still there, but it's forming something new, and you see that along the way of the season. You see that in the season finale. So it was kind of cool to see the X-wings, and that episode when the X-wings and like they stop Mando and they're asking for like what's his purpose and all that stuff, and you see the X-wings just open up. Oh, gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful. I thought that was because I'm a big fan of the X-wings. I thought that was a gorgeous special effects. And then we move forward throughout the season. You get characters from season 1 coming back, like my girl Gina Carano. Even though she's in the hot water, I get it. I remember her in her MMA days as Cara Dune. Her characters, I don't think Gina's a really good actress. I'll be honest with you. So watching this season and just like season 1, I don't think Gina's really good. She looks the part. She meets up with Mando again. She helps Mando a lot through towards the second half of the season. But she looks cool, but her acting just doesn't do it for me. And I feel like after so many years having an acting coach and stuff, it just should be a little bit better. If you've seen Haywire and all that stuff, I mean, that's my girl Gina, but come on, Gina, you could be a little bit more better. But yeah, it's cool to see Carl Weathers back. I mean, he directed one of the episodes too, and that was one of the better episodes as well. Carl Weathers is always great. I mean, if you know him from Predator, he's amazing. So you see these characters come back, and then you also see new characters being introduced. So of course, you see an end scene of the Crate episode or the Dragon episode where they defeat it. You see Boba Fett, and then a lot of people were looking forward and then Moff Gideon. So Moff Gideon, who is played by the actor who plays Gus from Breaking Bad. He's such a great actor too. His name escapes me right now, but you see a little bit more of him and his character. And I think the one gripe I have with the season is I would hope that they give him a little bit more development. He gets a lot more development, like in the final episode. You kind of know a little bit more of him, the final 2 episodes, but I don't feel like he's not used. He need to be used a little bit more. He need to be fleshed out a little bit more throughout the season to make that season finale a little bit more better. Even though I would say the season, I'm going to go straight. I'm just tell you straight up, the season finale was fantastic. So yeah, we got characters coming back. You have I forget her name, but you get one of the sharpshooters from season 1 that you think is dead. And then the introduction, of course, Ahsoka, one of the new characters. Well, not a new character, but one of the never seen live adaptation of her. And Rosario Dawson just really kills it. And the fights in the choreograph in this season was a hit and a miss. Okay, there's still that thing where stormtroopers are still they're idiots, and it's a joke to us. But when they're constantly doing that, and they're really making them really pathetic, going against Mando, and then I'm gonna get to Bhutan. Hang on, going against the other Mando, his crew. They're not menacing. They're not a threat. You don't feel like on the edge of your seat because you know these stormtroopers are going to be taken out just like that. So that's another gripe that I have with it, is that Jon Favreau and Filoni doesn't really make these guys, they treat them as a joke because we were all joking about them, and they really continue that joke, and that joke is not funny no more. And I think they need to make these guys are actual human beings in a suit. They should be trained to start, murdering people or at least be able to shoot 10 feet away and hit their target. That is kind of a disappointment to me. I just feel like like you don't, it takes you out of it a little bit. So some of that choreography and the fight scenes between like one group to another, it's just like, come on, man, you could be better than this. But some fight scenes, like when Mando and Bill Burr in the episode, when Bill Burr was great, by the way. Bill Burr, I thought Bill Burr is the guy that Mando was on a mission with in the first season, and Bill Burr betrays him. He's a bald-headed guy, and then in season 2, he uses Bill Burr because he used to be for the Empire, and he knows certain coordinates and where Moff Gideon, like his coordinate where he can track Moff Gideon. Bill Burr, though, man, that dude could act. Like the lines he was delivering, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna shoo this away because I don't think he's probably not gonna deliver this great. He's probably okay. Season 1, I didn't really take away from a lot from season 1 when he was in it, but this season he was good. He delivered his lines perfectly. He was a little bit charming, not like charming like in like a gentleman's teeth white and stuff. Charming in like whatever this dude said, it was on point, and you either believed him or you thought he was a liar. But he was very good at what he was saying and what he was and how he delivered these lines. Like he was fantastic. And honestly, in that episode, in episode 2, Mando has to reveal himself basically because they're sneaking into this I believe this secret kind of little base. And the whole, him trying to crack jokes with Mando, I thought they were great together. I thought they were a good dynamic duo. And then the one action scene when these pirates, so to speak, are the actual people that the Empire raided on, and these people are trying to get back at the Empire because they're disguised. They got like these plasma like grenades or bomb, and they're trying to blow up their cargo. That scene was great because Mando doesn't have his Mandalorian armor. And what's great about the season is it's a little bit of a cop-out, but I kind of like it, is Mando's suit is made of a certain material where a lightsaber can't even pierce it. A dark saber cannot even pierce it. He even gets a spear throughout the season that is the same material. And this thing, like, it's cool to think about because he has it and he has a spear, and he can go against a Sith, a Jedi, like, but Mando gets his ass kicked most of the time. But it's very, he has to rely on the suit, and it's very convenient, especially with a lot of the foes he has to face. But in that particular episode with Bill Burr, he doesn't have the suit, and this dude's getting his ass kicked, but he's fighting. What I love is it's like Rocky, he's getting back up, and he has to do whatever it takes for Baby Yoda and for just to survive, basically. And we'll get to Baby Yoda in a little bit. I know a lot of people want to talk about Baby Yoda, but I gotta say, Bill Burr was great. That was one action sequence I really loved. The creature from the spider creature, when that happened, that little action sequence, that was really good too. I like that as well. It kind of reminded me of Alien a lot. And then we'll get to the season finale and what I think about the action on that. But there was a lot of good action sequences, action scenes. And then, like I said, there was a lot of like, you're fighting, you're going against these stormtroopers, and these stormtroopers can't do shit, So let's get into the meat and potatoes. Mando this season finds other Mandalorians. The biggest question was, why doesn't he take off his helmet in Rebels? The Mandalorian, Sabine, Bo-Katan takes off their helmet. Bo-Katan is in this season. Katie Sackhoff, I love her. I thought she should have been Miss Marvel, to be honest. I know she was in Battlestar Galactica, but I know she was in Riddick. She's such a great actress. She has that build, and I would have loved her as Captain Marvel. But as Bo-Katan, the wig was a little weird. and I know there's a lot of controversy on the armor, but look at like Saiyans. If you look back and or if you go watch Dragon Ball Z, I mean Saiyan women I think had the same similar kind of armor. I can't don't quote me on that, but Bo-Katan was Katie's. It was always great to see Katie Sackhoff. I believe it was Sackhoff. um, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched. I watched a little bit of Clone Wars, so Bo-Katan, like I knew of her and I seen a couple episodes, but I've been. It is a little. It's. I think she voices her as well, so she has a big history, especially with her and Darth Maul, and then she's in. I believe, yeah, she's in Rebels. I mean, there's a whole controversy about the dark saber and Sabine handing it over, but yet we'll get to that in a minute as well. But Bo Katan in this season was really cool. She wasn't my favorite introduction. She wasn't my favorite live action introduction, but she was really cool. Like I said, Katie does a great job. Um, the 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 whole thing with Mando and the helmet thing that kind of just got perfectly bowed. There's two different. It made sense on why uh, when Bo-Katan tells him like, "Oh yeah, you won one of those whack job Mandalorians, who this cult like people who I don't know why you're not taking your helmet, you smell and all that stuff." So yeah, she was. You know what? She was great. She just wasn't my favorite. She shows up. And then how convenient in the nick of time when Mando has been like kind of dumbfounded to me this whole season. Like he's very gullible. I guess that's to kind of relate to him, but he's very gullible. When people say, "Hey, bring your baby over here, let's take a look at this," and they drop him in the trap, very gullible. He should be a little bit more smarter, and I feel like Mando should be a little bit more skilled. He still works for me. I'm just saying sometimes he's just really, really gullible. So that's how he kind of really meets Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan kind of saves his ass with her other Mandalorians. Sasha Banks is in it. I mean, Sasha Banks. It's honestly, I think that one is more like just a face, not really too much of a character, So Bo-Katan in the beginning, okay, it was really cool, especially with her wanting Moff Gideon, the dark saber. Later on, it gets a little bit more interesting. But Bo-Katan was really good, but she just wasn't my favorite. My favorite, of course, is seeing Ahsoka live action when Mando meets up with Ahsoka, and eventually, basically, Mando wants, he wants Ahsoka to train Baby Yoda. But I really feel for Ahsoka when in that episode when she says, I can't do it. Like I'm not the one to train. I can't train this little one. You need to find somebody else because look at all the stuff that's happened to her. Look at all the things. I mean, I think this is pre-Rebels finale. I'm not quite sure. But Ahsoka seemed a little bit more distant to me than the actual show. She seemed a little bit more tours, like a little bit more calmer, not as more outspoken, doesn't really talk as much as I thought she was going to do. But it was a really good introduction, especially in the beginning of that episode when she's like slicing everybody down, the conflict she has, the information she wants to get throughout that whole episode, the conversation she has with Mando, which I really love that Mando just says, "Oh yeah, I'll go take care of this Jedi for you," and he knew right away, like, okay, this is the Jedi I've been looking for. I love that. Not a trope, not like, oh, I didn't know, I had to take you out. Who are you? It was all done really well. So Ahsoka to me was really handled really well in live action. Would I like more of her? Yes, but she's getting her own show, so I'm gonna get as much as I can with her in that show. But it was a good, and of course, I would have wished her the top of her head, her tails would have been a little bit longer. In Rebels, they're really long, looks great. But in this one, they're shorter, kind of. It's like more younger version of Ahsoka, but she's not. She's currently older. So that was the only gripe I had with it. But other than that, like I thought Rosario Dawson moved like her. She carried a manner which was a little bit like her, but a little bit older, which I liked. I mean, you don't have to necessarily copy and paste from Rebels to there. You could put your own spin on it. And I thought the makeup job was great. I just thought the headpiece was a little weird, but the makeup job great. So that's another. I think her character was definitely probably the brighter spots and more memorable out of all the new characters. Of course, Boba Fett is huge. So we'll go Bo-Katan, we'll go Ahsoka, and then Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett is the character. I've always said that I don't know what the big deal is because this guy barely gets any screen time in the original trilogy. He does have the cartoon special as well, the holiday special, his origin story. But in Mando, man, they did a freaking fantastic job. Like I said, I didn't really like the idea of Jango Fett's like kid, so to speak. That's the actual. He's Boba Fett. I was actually hoping that it was like the alias kind of name. But they did such a great job, and especially I can't remember his name, but he's a great actor too. I always liked his look, and he's in Aquaman if you want to believe it or not. It's Aquaman's daddy. Great job, like really kind of fleshing out a little bit more of Boba Fett and like introducing him. Of course, when he finally gets his armor, it's I don't like how the armor's super clean. It's a little nitpick, but I like it how messed up it was, like all through the years in Empire. But he cleans it up. It looks nice. I like the wear and tear, but this guy has a lot. I mean, you could believe how they don't really tell you how he got out, but you could believe this dude survived all this time, even though he got ate by the Sarlacc or something like that. But this guy, the Boba Fett, those fleshed out how they did of him was great, was fantastic. Especially seeing his ship. His ship is awesome. His ship is so dope. Especially when he launched like these this sonic like torpedo. What was it, against the TIE fighters, and he like just blew them up. Like this, and then of course his little missile. Like everything was cool about this guy. Was cool like the other side of the pillow. I loved the introduction of Boba Fett. I'm very excited for his show, the Book of Boba Fett. So that's probably the one character they introduced live action that really met all the expectations and really blew it out of the water. Ahsoka's right there, but Boba Fett I think really takes the cake because we wanted more. We wanted to know why he's such a badass, and they really showed it, and I'm very, very excited to see what they do. All right, give me one moment. I'm talking so much. I know this video is going to go a little bit long, but I'm just going to talk about, hit some of the points, and then we'll get to the main meat and like the dessert, basically. But we got to talk about Baby Yoda. So let's talk about AKA Grogu. I think everybody was trying to call him Goku. I believe it's called his name Grogu. Grogu, we learned his name. We find out from Ahsoka why he doesn't use his powers as much, because I always wonder, like, why is he not using the Force? He knows how to do it. Why is he not doing it? He's afraid. And once Ahsoka said he's afraid, what happened in Order 66? I was like, that's all you have to say. That's why storytelling in this magnitude is so much far superior than the new trilogy. Because when you tell me that Grogu, the reason why he does not use his powers a lot and he only uses it to help Mando out because he cares for him, is because he's afraid of he's afraid of being caught. He's afraid of people going after him. He's afraid of maybe Mando dying. Of course, when Mando dying, he's afraid. Fear. How many times does Yoda talk about fear? So, and then the understanding that this guy is so afraid that if I train him, he might become a monster like Anakin. Amazing, beautiful, makes freaking sense. You do not want another Anakin. I always said the Jedi really messed that up. Obi-Wan, he really messed that up. I'll pinpoint why he messed that up. That's another video for another time. But I understand that. I understand that. So yes, Ahsoka and Grogu, they do meet. We find out, in that episode that Mando needs to take him to a certain spot, kind of like a Jedi temple, but it's not. It's like a rock. It's basically filmed outside on a hike, and he just kind of brings out this signal to whatever Jedi is listening to, come over here. I want to meet you. I'm Baby Yoda. Give me macaroons. So Baby Yoda this season was the same in season 1, honestly. He's still adorable. You understand more, which is great. I didn't think that we would see the end of Baby Yoda so soon at the end of the season. I'm not saying he's dead. I think everybody, like I said, spoilers, I think everybody knows what happens. But I thought we would have Mando and and Grogu together for a little bit longer. And I did like the aspect of, that's Mando's son, basically, or that's Mando's child. And you see that father and son dynamic throughout the series. And I think that's such a smart move, because you got to connect this. When you watch something or you listen to something, you connect on something, some aspect, something that this person is telling you, or something that bringing out an emotion, or something you remind you of. And this is exactly what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau did a great job at, is establishing the relationship between Mando and Grogu. That's the heart of the show. So when you get to the season finale, it all wraps up in a beautiful, sad, but has to happen kind of way. So Baby Yoda ends up getting kidnapped. That's a big cliche, of course. Moff Gideon gets a hold of him, takes blood from him. I did love how Baby Yoda was just like beating the shit out of these stormtroopers, though. When he was capturing, he had like little baby handcuffs. Disney knows how to market something that's going to be hotcakes of selling, like a BB-8. I mean R2D2, but that was George Lucas more. But BB-8, I guess you could say the pugs or whatever. I don't know how many people love those guys, but they know how to do it. I love BB-8, even though I don't like the movies too much, but I love BB-8. I think BB-8 is great. He ain't better than R2, but I do like BB-8. So Baby Yoda, Grogu, they know how to do it. They know how to pull your heartstrings, know how to get your wallet. So if you think about it, though, Grogu was still Grogu, just a little bit more cuter, a little bit more animated, which I really like. The puppetry work was really 93% of it was really, really good. The other, percentage of it was, okay, that's a puppet, especially when they're like picking them up. I'm like, that's a sideshow toy right there that they're picking up. So that's what I think. The heart of this show was definitely Mando and Baby Grogu. And then, of course, leading up to finale, I did like how the aspect that he kind of recruits his own team to go rescue Baby Grogu. I do like, that's when I really like Moff Gideon, where he was just like, he had Baby Grogu. Mando had to try to go get him back. Boom. The Moff was like, yeah, come over here, bitch. Come get me. And this dude has like dark troopers. Is it dark troopers? Dark troopers, but they're like robotic. So we'll go. So throughout the whole season, great establishing of the characters. It was great to see that there were kind of individual chapters, but yet it was all leading up to something bigger at the end. The music was always, I really love the music. I really love the rocky kind of theme of Mando's theme. Especially, I'll get to this piece of music towards the season finale that I absolutely love too. But like I said, the budget was bigger. It looked great. Some parts, and some of the jokes, like the one joke with this, the mechanic lady, when Mando had to get his ship fixed. The jokes that she was delivering was terrible. So bad. So the jokes and the writing and the dialogue sometimes didn't hit, but some of the lines, especially with Bill Burr delivering it, was fantastic. Some of the quotes in here, some of the things that just happened throughout the season lifted it up a little bit more than in season one. But like I said, the last two episodes really got me, especially with Mando having to take off his helmet, doing all this for Grogu, learning about Grogu, seeing the relationship blossom more, seeing how much he cares, seeing the risk everything. Mando started becoming a better character, like a better character for me. I started to really kind of like, okay, before season one, Mando was cool. Season two, he was more like, he was better. He was better. He was better. He was a better character. You understand this relationship and you rooted for it. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to root for Mando. He's a lot like he's Rocky. He's Rocky. You want him to get back up. You want him to go save his child. You want him to do what he needs to do. And so moving on to, of course, the finale. We'll talk about the finale since I don't want to keep you guys all night. The finale was fantastic. I've been hearing. I think everybody can agree this finale kind of saved, just for a moment, Star Wars. Excuse me. I'm telling you now, I don't have COVID. I already had that. So the dessert, okay. I think the one person I've seen that talked about this finale that I totally disagree, and I seem to always disagree with her, is Grace Randolph. I think just because her scoop didn't come, because there's a rumor like, Pedro Pascal left the set, they had to finish it without him. I think somewhat of it's true. I think there was a disturbance in the force during that whole, filming of the whole season, but I think it was over exaggerated. So seeing Grace kind of salty on the season finale, I just kind of, I'll throw a little shade at her, because that's come on. I mean, really, you're I don't see how you don't. I know it's flawed, but I don't see how you just don't enjoy this episode. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the moment, enjoy the episode. You can nitpick it, but you got to enjoy it. And I enjoyed the shit out of this episode. This brought tears to a lot of people, and I'm not gonna lie to you. It kind of, every time I watch a particular scene too, but just the overall ending of the last episode, it brought tears in my eyes, man. Even thinking about it, because after enduring a lot of shit, it's not just they're not just characters and stuff. It's kind of a, just like the Raiders are a part of who I am, who I love. I love movies, I love TVs, and I love Luke Skywalker. I love Han Solo. I love Princess Leia. I love the Star Wars lore. And when you mess it up like they did, like Disney did on The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, even in Force Awakens, it breaks my heart. But my God, Jon Favreau and Filoni, what they did when they set up I think perfect setting up the Dark Troopers. They were Terminator-esque. Love the horror feel. Love how one of these things kicked Mando's ass and Mando barely got out of it alive. If he didn't have that armor, he'd be dead. Like I said, so happens to be. The episode was great. It was great. Like, I was engaged. I was intrigued. I was wondering, okay, this is probably going to have some cliches in it, but they're doing a good job. If you could do a good job, those cliches kind of are in the back of your head. As long as you've seen it before, but if you could do it a little bit different, if you could really nail it, you could nail it. So the rescue mission of Grogu with Mando and his crew. Loved how I loved how Boba Fett comes, and I love the diversion, or I love the plan, how Bo-Katan is able to sneak onto the ship. That was great. Having Boba Fett like fire on them, like because they stole an Imperial ship, or a Emperor ship. I don't know exactly what that ship is called, and they pose as like they pose as the Emperor, the Empire soldiers or whatever, and Boba Fett's like firing on them, like, oh, let us in, we're firing. I love that. I thought that was great. That was smart. I don't think I've seen that because you see how many times the beam pulls you in. They pulled the Millennium Falcon in the real trilogy. But seeing something like that, their plan to get in was great. And then them firing and blazing and all that stuff. And then, like I said, the stormtroopers being really, really bad at their job. But other than that, the setup of the Dark Troopers, and of course they had to charge up a little bit. But when these guys are activated, it was great. The CG, you could tell they're CGI, but the special effects were still solid. They moved really well. They looked great. It was really that sleeky, glossy black and the red eyes. It really reminded me of the Terminator, especially when one of them, Mando, can't launch all of them out into space. One of them gets in and is kicking Mando's ass. It really reminded me of Terminator. It kind of reminded me more of Terminator Salvation than anything, honestly. So, oh man, that was fantastic. And then you had Moff Gideon, his leverage. Bo-Katan goes up. Moff Gideon's not there, and the main room or the main deck, and then Mando finding Grogu. Moff Gideon has a dark saber on him, and this is kudos to the actor Moff Gideon. When he said like, I just want take the baby. I already got what I need, the blood. The way he nails those lines, you actually believe him. I was actually, impressed. I was like, oh, they're going to go this route where he's just saying, get out of here. And Moff Gideon will probably somehow get away. I was like, all right. I mean, I don't need to see these two go head to head. I mean, if you want to go that, it's so believable what he said and how he saw the connection between the two. I was like, okay, that's fine. Of course, that didn't happen. Moff Gideon tried to kill Mando with the Darksaber, but that was a great fight too. Like, dude, the actor Gus, that dude was wailing on Mando, and it was so believable. It looked so great. That was one of the best scenes I've seen with the fight. I mean, there's Ahsoka and the woman who I know I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry, Ahsoka and the woman she was trying to get information out of. That was a good fight. But I think that Mando and Moff Gideon fight really reminded me of kind of like Return of the Jedi, or just like two dudes just swing at each other. Or he was swinging at Mando. So that was great. That really harkened back to the original trilogy. At the end of this video, I'm going to talk about this one big thing I'm really excited for. But moving forward, Grogu, they got him. Dark Troopers come back. We all know. Looks like they're going to die. They're punching through the walls, or they're punching through the door. They have to make their last stand, and then that one little X-wing comes in, and in the slightest, I was like, oh, it's the Rebellion, or it's the New Republic. But then there's only one, and I knew right away. A lot of people said they knew right away with the glove, the lightsaber, the cloak, the X-wing, little R2D. If you look really, I mean, it went by so fast, but R2 is on the X-wing. But to me, what really made me say that's Luke is the belt. The belt. Never forget that belt, because I had an action figure. I was like, that's fucking Luke. That's Luke. And then you see the glove, and then you see the green lightsaber. The green lightsaber. Like, I think everybody was like, that's a green lightsaber. That's Luke's classic green lightsaber. His classic Return of the Jedi clothes, his cloak, him demolishing all the Dark Troopers. The way, not just demolishing them, but the way he did it, the smoothness he did it, the fighting stance he did it, that was Luke. That was like if Star Wars Return of the Jedi was in today's and they had to do the fight over with Darth Vader and Luke, he would move like that. They would update the choreography where he would move like that. And him going through those Dark Troopers, the music playing. Now, the music was an interesting choice. They didn't go for Binary Sunset, or they didn't go for Yoda's theme or Luke's theme. They mixed it towards the end. I thought it fit. I thought in a weird, oddly, it didn't sound like it should fit, but oddly, I thought it did fit. I thought it did fit that particular scene, the hallway scene. And then when it was going, I shed tears, dude. I shed tears because every video you come across talking about this, they're going to tell you this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted from Luke, not the guy who went onto an island and just wanted to die. We wanted the Luke Skywalker that would bring the Jedi back, who maybe had a wife named Mara Jade, who's still one of the most powerful Jedis to ever happen, who never gives up hope. That scene is Filoni and Favreau saying, "Here's your hope. Here is your hope." And who's delivering that hope? It's Luke Skywalker. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, this still ends up as The Last Jedi, this and that. Okay, but just give me this. Just at least let me, I love just seeing this Luke and what he has, what he was. And I don't know. It's going to be tricky going forward if they really do. Well, I think they will, because Grogu's blood is hinted that that's going to be how they revive Palpatine or Snoke. But when Luke just goes against these dark troopers, and then when Mando, and then they're looking at the screens and they're seeing this guy doing work, and then Mando lets him in, and then when he unveils and it's Luke Skywalker, it's Mark Hamill, it's CGI, it's not the perfect, but at that point, after the whole him destroying all the dark troopers and bringing hope to it, like, you don't care. You really don't care. Even like the voice is a little off, but I don't care. Whatever lines Luke delivered, that's exactly the Luke Skywalker would say. He would say that. He told Grogu, "Come with me, little one." I loved how he said, like, Mando's like, "You don't want to go with you." He's trying to ask he wants permission to go with me, and then the line where, everybody's going to, it's a jab at Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson, he needs proper training. He's so strong with the Force, but he needs proper training, because if he's not trained, it's just, he's going to self-destruct, or he's going to destroy something. That's a jab at Rey. It's obvious. The cool manner Luke is, hands like you remember when he enters Jabba's palace and he's just cool, calm, and collect. That's Luke. That's Luke. And what really got me was, so the goodbyes of Mando and Grogu was fantastic. Grogu touching the helmet, Mando taking off the helmet, and then Grogu just touching his face, and he finally sees his father. That was fantastic. That's the heart of Star Wars right there. Is developing these characters and having a payoff. And it really felt like Mando's story kind of ends, but yet there's a little room where it can go forward, because he does get the Darksaber from Moff Gideon, and then Bo-Katan has to fight him for it, which is weird because Sabine yielded to Bo-Katan, even though Mando was trying to do the same thing. So that's a little iffy. So we'll see. I see little things that Filoni doesn't really carry from Rebels onto Mando that are not explained quite as well, or is going to be explained. So that's a little something. But the farewell of Grogu and Mando was beautifully done. And then when Grogu goes up to Luke and R2 comes from the back, I love that, because you guys got to understand, I love the relationship that Luke has with R2. It's a freaking droid, and Luke loves the shit out of R2. Love that dynamic. Love that. Though I was really excited when The Last Jedi, when he puts his hand on R2 in the trailer and in the movie, because that's his boy, man. That's his boy. So Luke taking Grogu, series ends that. Then you get the after credit scene with the Book of Boba. But man, the Luke Skywalker has been redeemed for a moment. I don't know what they're gonna do. I know I hear a lot of people want to cancel the original or the new trilogy, but by Kathleen Kennedy, they're not gonna do that. What they can do is some time travel if you go back and watch Rebels and with Ezra, he could say Kanan. If you've seen Rebels before, there's a time travel thing going on in one of the episodes, which they can kind of do. We'll see, because Filoni did introduce that, so we'll see. We'll see if there's hope to save Luke Skywalker. But then, what about Leia? What about Han? Like, it's a tricky subject, and if anything, my hopes are down on that. I feel like this is still going to lead to Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi and Force Awakens. But for a moment, for just an instance, this is the Legends Luke. This is the material they threw out when they bought Star Wars. This is the Luke. This is the Luke that gets the Jedi Academy back and running. This is the Luke that has a son named Ben. This is the Luke that marries one of the best female characters I've ever got to read and see in comics, and I have a statue of Mara Jade. That's that Luke I wanted for at least an instant. But I think that Luke eventually becomes Jake Skywalker. Eventually, I think it becomes the Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker that he is basically Mark Hamill. It's basically Mark Hamill hating what he had to do in the new trilogy. But the real question is, a lot of people are saying, like, okay, is season 3 of Mandalorian, is that the Boba Fett story now? Are we going away from Mando? I don't know. I don't think so, because Mando still has the whole Darksaber thing. He said he would meet Grogu again. I would love a time skip. I would love to move forward. Maybe actually get to that. Does Grogu live or not? Does Kylo Ren die? I would like to see a time skip. But then again, because they have the other shows like Ahsoka, they have Rangers, which I think is going to be Gina Carano's character. They have all these other shows that could really like kind of still stay in that timeline. But for Mandalorian season 3, I would actually like a time skip. A lot of people say that this is going to be a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be more invested in it if Yoda's not in it, or if Grogu's not in it. Because that's the one thing we're hanging on to is that relationship. Even it'd be really cool if Mando went with Boba, but Boba's like a new crime lord, so I don't know about that. It's gonna be interesting. I hear that Mandalorian season 3 is still happening. Boba Fett, that's another spinoff. It's not gonna be Mandalorian season 3, but we'll see. So the overall season was good. It was great. It was great because of the final maybe 2 episodes. It was trending along to season 1 for me, where it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. But then when it got to those last 2 seasons, I was like, money, baby. But you know what? If they don't go for a Mandalorian season 3 and they kind of just like don't really cover Mando anymore and they go Boba Fett, I'm fine with it, because honestly, this kind of felt like a conclusion to his story. But we still have a lot of loose ends, especially sprinkled throughout the season on a lot of things. I could see him popping in at other different shows like Ahsoka's, Boba's, and all that stuff. But I'm fine with it if they don't do another season. Now, I'm going to just touch upon this real quick because I'm super excited. So after the whole season ended and I had my tears bawling like a baby for Luke Skywalker, and then I'll probably get over it after a week or two, whatever Kathleen Kennedy spouts out. My favorite thing about this is that Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn. She is looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. I am so excited for that. Thrawn needs to be the next villain. He needs to be the main guy, not Palpatine, not Kylo Ren. A live action Thrawn is money in the bank, but do it right. A lot of people say Benedict Cumberbatch should be Thrawn. I think Michael Fassbender would be a fantastic Thrawn. Give me Thrawn. Bring Ezra. We don't know what's happened to Ezra. Bring me a live action Sabine. And you know what? Don't even make it a movie. Continue with the TV stuff. Just put money into it, and I'm all for it. Thrawn needs to happen, and that's why I'm looking forward to Ahsoka more than any of the other shows, including Boba's, because I need to know where this is going. And I think a lot of people want to know where the hell all this is going. And so far, it's going great. So far, we're full steam ahead. We're going good. But at some point, there's going to be this ugly little wall right here with murals saying Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and Rise of Skywalker. Do we hit that wall, or do we just acknowledge that that wall doesn't exist and it's just my imagination? But eventually, if they do keep it, it's still there, guys. These movies still happen. But I guess for the meantime, we'll enjoy this time period. But we'll see what happens in the future. Mandalorian, probably the best thing that's happened for Star Wars, and the good thing that's happened. I really do think they need to give the reins to Favreau, Filoni. Please just let them do what they do. Are they perfect? No, they're not. This season had a lot of little clunkiness. Dialogue was a little weird. Some of the convenience that was happening, a lot of tropes happening on it. But the difference is this was done with love. This was everybody was on board. Everybody acted their asses off. Everybody was professional, maybe. Everybody has done everything they need to do to continue the legacy of Star Wars. And, kudos. This is what we needed. This is definitely what we needed for 2020 at the end of it. I think a lot of people are very positive right now just because this happened. The finale, especially with Luke. That's how much that character means to a lot of people. Or even if that Luke wasn't your favorite, like you still appreciated that they did your boy right. And it sucks because it takes away from the Grogu and Mando moment, of course. But if it wasn't for Mando, if it wasn't for Mandalorian, if it wasn't the Mandalorian, if it wasn't for Grogu, if it wasn't for Favreau, Filoni, we don't get that moment. We don't get that epic moment, and we don't get that satisfaction. So looking forward to The Mandalorian. I'm looking forward to see Mando's story continue because there's still little loose ends going on. But season 2, to me, was better than season 1. It barely beat it. I think it barely beat it for the 2-episode finale, but it was I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I enjoyed both seasons. I look forward to more seasons. I don't think Mando should go too far. I think maybe one more season would be great, or maybe 2 more seasons would be good. 4 seasons of The Mandalorian would be perfect. Don't stretch it out. I think it's kind of like a Breaking Bad where you can only tell so much story. So, yeah, The Mandalorian season 2 did its job, made me happy, made a lot of people happy. It makes you more excited to see what's going to happen in the future, how all these shows are going to line up. It's an MCU kind of thing, I believe. But let me know what you guys thought. I mean, is this better than season 1 to you because of the final 2 episodes, or just overall you just thought the whole season was just better? Who was your favorite introduced character this season? Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan. Hell, just throw in Luke Skywalker real quick. So let me know, guys. Thank you guys for listening. I'll be having more videos coming up. I think we're going to talk Thrawn next video. I think we need to talk Thrawn. Like I said, all you have to do down below is put hashtag The Mandalorian, click the like button, and subscribe, and you will have a chance to win this Funko Pop of Luke Skywalker and Yoda. And I will announce the winner at the end of January. So I want you guys to stay safe. Make sure everybody's good. Enjoy your Christmas. I'll be having more videos coming out. Just got me back on, man. And then like I said, shout out to Taylor. Me and Taylor are gonna be working on some stuff, so you guys can see. I'll have the link down below if you want to check out her channel. Her channel covers all Sons of Anarchy, Mayans MC. It's really awesome channel. Please go check that out. And then yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening, whoever was listening, and you guys have a good night. I'm about to go take a nap. Finish this beer first though.